Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe, Jaya Radha Rashmi Hari, Radha Rashmi Hari Radhe, Jaya Gaurangi Bangalore Ishwar, Gaurangi Bangalore Ishwar, Gaurangi, Jaya Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Balladeva, Jai Shubhadra, Jaya Sudarshana, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Prahlad Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Nitai Chaitanya, Jaya Nitai Chaitanya, Nitai Chaitanya, Jaya Nitai Chaitanya, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Harinam Sankirtan Mahayagya ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Shata, His Divine Grace Shri Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya, Savior of the whole universe, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Shata, His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Roop Shri Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Chhat Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय. मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय. श्री क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. द्वारिका धाम की जय. गंगा माई की जय. जमुना माई की जय. कावेरी माई की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. तुलसी महारानी की जय. समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories and glories and glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Chil Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraje Nashtapraye Shubhadreshu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangaitem Grim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees to this Sunday morning, daily discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's Katha we are going to be discussing from the 21st chapter of the 4th canto. Allow me to share my screen. There are two shlokas that we're going to be discussing today. The 21st shloka from The fifth shloka from the 21st chapter and the sixth shloka. Canto 4 is titled The Creation of the Fourth Order, and chapter 21 is titled Instructions by Prithu Maharaj. Very interesting chapter. A lot of understanding which we will get as devotees, what is the instructions of Prithu Maharaj in to the living entities. Shankadudum Bighoshena Brahma Ghoshena Chartvijam Vivasabhavanam Viraha Stuyamano Gatasmaya Shankadundu Ghoshena Brahma Ghoshena Chartavijam Vishvesha Bhavanam Vira Stuyamano Gatasmaya Shankadundu Ghoshena Brahma Ghoshena Chartavijam Vivesha Bhavanam Viraha Stuyamano Gatasmaham Smayam. Word to word translation. Shankha, conch shell. Dundhubi, kettle drums. Ghoshena, by the sound of. Brahmana, Vedic. Sorry, it is Brahma, Vedic. Just allow me 1 minute and I'm with you. Brahma, Vedic. Ghoshena, chanting. Cha, also. Ritvijam, of the priest. Vivashe, entered. Vivesa, entered. Bhavanam, the palace. Viraha, the king. Stuyamana, being worshipped. Gatasmayam, without pride. Very important, Translation. When the king entered the palace, conch shell and kettle drums were sounded. Priests chanted the Vedic mantras and professional reciters offered different prayers. But in spite of all this ceremony to welcome him, the king was not the least bit affected. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Purport: the reception given to the king was full of opulence, yet he did not become proud. It is said, therefore, the great personalities of power and opulence never become proud. And the example is given that the tree which is full of fruits and flowers does not stand erect in pride, but instead bends down to show submissiveness. This is the sign of a wonderful character of great personalities. We will also continue text 6 because it's a part of our today's reading. Pujita pujyam asa tatra mahayasha pauranjana padam tamstan pritam priya varaprada pujita pujam asa tatra mahayasa pauranjana padam tamstan prita priya varapada Pujita pujyam asa tatra mahayasas pauram dana padam stamtan prita priyavara pada. Word to word translation. Pujita, being worshipped. Pujyam asa, offered worship. Tatra, here and there. Mahayashas, with a background of great activities. Pauran, the noblemen of the city. Gnanapadam, common citizen. Janapadam, common citizens. Tan, in the way. Prita, being satisfied. Priyavarapada, were ready to offer them all benedictions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: both the important citizen and the common citizen welcomed the king very heartily, and he also bestowed upon them their desired blessings. Purport: A responsible king was always approachable by his citizens. Generally, the citizen, great and common, all had an aspiration to see the king and take benedictions from him. The king knew this, and therefore, whenever he met the citizen, he immediately fulfilled their desire or mitigated their grievances. In such a dealing, a responsible monarchy is better than so-called democratic government, in which no one is responsible to mitigate the grievances of the citizen, who are unable to personally meet the supreme executive head. In a responsible monarchy, the citizen had no grievances against the government, and even if they did, they approached the king directly for immediate satisfaction. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Canto 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto titled The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 21, chapter titled Instructions of Maharaj Prithu, and the verse numbers that we are reading is 5 and 6. Om Tat Sat Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वांछा कल्पतरोभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. First of all, I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present here, all the acharyas, and the Guru Parampara, that today whatever I'm going to speak is as per the Shastras. And I seek all your blessings as well to ensure that I speak the words as instructed by all the Guru Vrandas. So with this chapter, starts off with saying instructions by Maharaj Prithu. Maharaj Prithu, in the previous chapter, which is the 20th chapter, we saw that Lord Vishnu comes himself to the sacrificial anida of Maharaj Prithu, and there he offers benediction, and along with him he gets Indra as well, who tried to do something which was not really required. And Maharaj Prithu himself is the Satyavesh avatar, and despite his being there, Indra tried to do something which was not really nice for us to do. And this is the mistake that he realized, and when he came along with Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, he was very ashamed of himself, and then he was just trying to beg apologies from Prithu Maharaj, and he was actually falling at the feet of Prithu Maharaj. But then Prithu Maharaj, without allowing him to fall at his feet, picks him up and gives him an embrace. And with this embrace, both Prithu Maharaj as well as Maharaj Indra actually forget all their past. They forget whatever is the offense that was committed. And, then the Lord glorifies Prithu Maharaj, and then the Lord finally leaves the sacrificial arena and blesses. Just before leaving, he blesses Prithu Maharaj, and then he leaves. Now here, in this chapter, Prithu Maharaj is returning back to his kingdom, and when he returns back to the kingdom, he's been given a super solid welcome. When he enters the palace, conch shells, kettle drums, everything is chanted, a lot of flowers are being sprinkled. It's like a big festival for the whole kingdom that Prithu Maharaj is coming back to the kingdom and the palace. And despite all this pomp and all, the big decorations, There were Vedic mantras which are being chanted. The professional reciters were offering prayers to Prithu Maharaj. But despite of all this, Prithu Maharaj did not get disturbed. He did not get affected, though the ceremony was basically to welcome him. So what does it show? It shows that the great personalities do not get affected by material welcome. It was a material welcome. It was not anything that on the spiritual platform. Yes, the Vedic mantras were chanted, but it was basically to welcome Prithu Maharaj back into his palace and his kingdom. So it shows that great personalities do not get affected by the material welcome. Similarly, we can see it at multiple places. Lord Krishna, when he returned to Dwarika, such a welcome was given. Big welcome was organized for him. He was the king of Dwarika. He is still the king of Dwarika. And when he was given a big, warm welcome, he did not get affected by it. Lord Ramachandra came back after the exile to Ayodhya. And while such a big event was organized by the denizens of Ayodhya, they were not affected. It is actually, even today, we celebrate the return of Lord Ramachandra back home during the Deepavali festival. And it was seen that when Lord Ramachandra, Mata Sita, and Lakshman returned to Ayodhya, such a big event was organized, and Mother Sita is so humble that she was not even able to lift her head. You know, it is described in Valmiki Ramayana, where Sita Mata always kept her head bent towards everybody. And Lord Ramachandra is seen seeking blessings of the people, the citizens of Ayodhya. And this is the biggest thing that one can really see, that the great personalities do not really get affected. And in our own recent past, we can see Srila Prabhupada, whenever he would travel, Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the world 14 times in the 12 years of his establishment of the movement of Krishna consciousness, his International Society of Krishna Consciousness. He traveled 14 times all over the globe. And whenever he would travel, at the airports, there would be so many devotees who would welcome him, offer him so many garlands. There would be huge kirtan. Devotees would jump in pleasure of having Srila Prabhupada and dance and all that at the airport. And Srila Prabhupada was not affected by all this material welcome at all. Though in one sense, it was a spiritual welcome to the spiritual master. But Srila Prabhupada never took pride about his being welcomed at the airports. And he would always, be the same, the calm, quiet, absolutely normal person. So likewise, we see when we have some senior devotees coming into the temple, we welcome them, and that's the Vedic culture. Anybody comes to our house, to our temple, we welcome them. And at Shri Jagannath Mandir, we see them, we welcome them with a kalash. And that's a very nice tradition, and that is as per the Vedic culture that we follow. And why do we do this? This is something important. Because people will think that why are they being given so much of importance? Why are we, doing puja to them? Why are we offering so many garlands to them? And why are we doing such big welcome to them? Basically, because the Vaishnavas are above the modes of material nature. They do not become proud. When you see Srila Prabhupada was welcomed, he was never proud of himself. When you see our acharyas, our gurus who come to the temple or they come to any program, they're not proud of their being honored. We become proud when somebody praises us. But when we welcome the senior devotees, when we welcome the Vaishnavas, the acharyas, they do not become proud. Even when you are praising them about their services to the movement, when you are praising about their service to Srila Prabhupada and to the society, they do not really get proud. They said, no, don't worry. I remember, His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. I was trying to give an introduction about His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj while devotees were all seated. And Maharaj has done so many seva to Srila Prabhupada directly, indirectly to the movement, and directly to the movement as well. And Maharaj said, no, that's enough. You don't have to go beyond. So that's the humility that they have, because they are not actually affected by the three modes of material nature. But we get disturbed as the normal bhaktas, or even as normal human beings. We get disturbed if somebody does not praise us, or we get puffed up when we get praises. And that's a tradition, especially at Shridham Mayapur and Shridham Vrindavan. Soon after the Mangal Aarti, they welcome the devotees in the morning address. Their names are announced, and they welcome to the dham and such things. That's basically as per the Vedic culture. And when there is an expectation, we actually become proud of it. And proud or pride destroys our bhakti. If there is no expectation, then there is no proud or no pride, and then there is no dissatisfaction. And a pure heart, in a pure heart, we will not have pride, and we will not expect anything. And in the material world, this is going on a regular basis. If I give some donation, my name should be written on a golden plank that so and so donated so much of money to the temple. Or if I donate to, poor people for their food, for their prashadam, then I will be seen with a plate donating them the prashadam, and social media carries it, and then I post it everywhere else. So that's what is happening in the material world. Yeah. What happens when you have pride? Very nice examples are given in our Shastras. When Maharsha was speaking, he was sitting on the Vyasasana, and he was speaking when his Guru Maharaj, Lord Balram, came there. He did not get up. This was because of his pride. It is very important when the Guru comes, the disciple should respect the spiritual master. He should get up and offer his obeisances. We've seen it. So Romaharsha did not offer this, and Lord Balram just pulled out a kusha grass and destroyed him. So pride should be destroyed. That is the responsibility of a spiritual master also. Recently, we saw a video, a very nice video from Radha Gopinath Mandir, where Jonas Radhanath Swami Maharaj arrives into the temple hall, and prior to that, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj is sitting on the Vyasasana, and Maharaj very lovingly comes and pats at his back. And when he pats and then he realizes it is Maharaj, he immediately jumps at, and he's trying to offer his obeisances, but then Maharaj, that's the humility of Maharaj. He says, no, you're sitting on the Vyasasana, please sit there. But still, Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj offers his respect sitting on the Vyasasana, which is the culture which is as per the Vedic civilization, that whenever a spiritual master comes in, one needs to get up. And the first time that somebody sees his spiritual master in the day, he should offer prostrate obeisances, Shashtang Pranam, to the spiritual master. Yeah. So now there's another thing, if you compare it on the other side of it. So Romaharsha is one part of our learning, that, when Balram ji, his spiritual master, came, he did not get up with pride. At the same time, when Parikshit Maharaj did not get water, he puts a dead snake around the neck of Shaimik Rishi. And Shringi, who does not know about the greatness of Parikshit Maharaj, curses Parikshit Maharaj. And this is because of the power of Maya. Why am I saying power? Power actually, when it gets onto the head, it becomes pride. And when pride comes, Maya takes you over. So it is very important that one should not have the pride or power for Maya to come and attack. Why did Parikshit Maharaj, such a great devotee, do this? Kali Yuga. Yeah. He felt he was the king of the whole province there, and he's asking water from Shaimik Rishi after going into the forest after hunting, and he does not respond. So he gets that. That's the Leela of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parikshit Maharaj's example was to teach us that we should not be proud of anything. Parikshit Maharaj, a great devotee, but still ended up doing such a very small mistake. And on top of it, there's another big mistake done by Shringi, the Shaimik Rishi's son. And he curses Parikshit Maharaj that after 7 days, there will be a snake-like bird, Takshaka, which will come and bite you and take you to death. This is called the power of Maya. Similarly, when we see the examples of Daksh Prajapati, Shiva was a great devotee of the Lord, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He's not different than, because they're at the same, almost at the same platform of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. So Shiva did not get up, and Daksha Prajapati actually gets annoyed and he scolds and chastises Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva did not take it as an offense. Whereas on the other side, his disciples, Lord Shiva's followers, they destroyed the whole kingdom of Daksh Prajapati and he insulted Lord Shiva. Similar, another example that we see of Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Narad Muni comes there, and because of the pride, because of their good looks and their being born to the demigods, to Kubera, they were sons of Kubera, Nalakuvera and Manigriva. They did not care. It was because of pride. They were dancing naked, and Narad Muni curses them. If there is no proper respect, if we don't give proper respect, then we have to face the consequences. In the modern society, there is no transcendental knowledge. The wife calls the husband by name. Yeah, there is no great relationship between father and son or guru and disciple. So which is where there's a problem, because there's no transcendental knowledge. When we do not respect our seniors, this will lead to fall down in our spiritual life and reduce the lifespan. It is given in the Shastras that when we don't respect our seniors, our lifespan also decreases. It's an offense that we commit at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. These days you see the wife calling the husband by name, which is not proper. It is not the Vedic parampara or the etiquette that we follow. Even in the schools, the teachers don't get respect. Hence, the students do not get proper knowledge, because when the guru is not honored properly, he will not give good knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita 4.34, it very clearly says, Tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Yeah. What does it mean? Just try and learn this truth by approaching a spiritual master. And then what does it say? Upadeshakya shantite jnanam Ganidas Tattva Darshana. Inquire from him submissively, which is very important. When we say submissively, it is with full respect and leaving aside our pride. Says submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So very clearly it says that you have to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, by submissively approaching him. Yeah. A bona fide spiritual master by nature is very kind towards people. Therefore, when a student submissively and always ready to render service without any pride, he reciprocates the knowledge and inquires, becomes perfect. The inquiry is what the student is asking, becomes perfect. Superior's position is actually a position of responsibility. If we don't respect, then the consequences will not be very good. So we have to respect. We should give our seniors respect. And if we don't give respect to our seniors, we will not get the blessings. In Vedic version, if you don't respect the seniors, then you're reducing your lifespan. Now, somebody will say, okay, fine, this is fine. I understand that, we have to give respect to everybody. We have to respect our seniors. But then how do we do it? So this is very simply given by Narad Muni when he gives knowledge to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Okay. He says, when you see somebody senior to you, senior does not really mean only in age, but yes, it also includes somebody senior to you in age, somebody senior to you in knowledge, somebody senior to you in their spiritual elevation, then we should feel very happy. And we should render services to them, and we should take instructions from senior devotees. And then Narad Muni goes on to say that, when you meet equals, somebody of your own stature in spiritual life, in age, in designation, then you should make friendship with them. You should be very friendly with them. And when you see somebody who is junior to you, you should have compassion towards them and you should guide them. Very clear instructions by Narad Muni here in Srimad Bhagavatam, and this knowledge is given to Yudhishthira Maharaj when he submissively surrenders to Narad Muni and says, how do I deal with people? Because I'm taking over the mantle of this big kingdom of Hastinapur. Then Narad Muni gives these instructions. And when we don't realize these three instructions, then we commit offenses. We should have proper knowledge and treat everybody accordingly. Yeah. In the purport itself, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a tree. Tree is always very submissive. And the more the tree is laden with fruits, it bends down. Yeah. You'll always see a tall tree which is standing very erect, does not give any fruits. It does not even give shelter because it's so tall. Yeah. It's the fruit bearing tree which is always down to earth, we call it as. Yeah. Another example that we can take from the tree is that the tree gives us fruit, it gives us wood, it gives us shelter, it gives us flowers, it gives us whatever we require. So that should be the quality of a devotee, that he should be like a tree. He should give shelter to the juniors. He should give, wood for working. That is the knowledge that we get. We should also get blessings from the tree. That is the fruits that we get and the flowers that we get. So one should become like a tree, be equal to all of them. Be equal when I mean in a relationship with the others, he should follow the instructions given by Narad Muni. Humility is a very spiritual quality. We should never criticize and put down anybody. We should develop humility. Humility is the first quality that a devotee gets. We will become very proud and offend others if we do not have a humble nature. So in Bhagavad Gita 13.8, it describes that humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, and approaching a bona fide spiritual master are the qualities of a devotee. It says, amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa shantir arjanaya, acharyopasanam saucham, sthiryam atma vinigraha. So it is very important as a devotee, we should have humility is the first quality. As in this particular shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives this very clearly. Amanitvam, that is humility. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is speaking the process of acquiring knowledge. So this is the process where in the 13th chapter, he's talking about process. Humility is the first thing to acquire knowledge. And likewise, it is the beginning of knowledge. Humility is the beginning of knowledge. And also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 17.31. Anyone in this humbleness and humility, he is an example for us. And humility should be taught everywhere. Without being gentle or humble, one cannot get knowledge. But in the present moment, the humility is forgotten. Everyone is, proud of unnecessary things. What are these unnecessary things? Our belongings, our position, our knowledge, which is all temporary. And these are unnecessary things. Money you will lose when you lose this body. You lose your power after a certain age. Your body will lose after a certain age. Although he has nothing actually, but he is still proud. So much so that sometimes, Srila Prabhupada says, a person is so much so proud that sometimes the rascal says that I am God. In Srila Prabhupada's language, only Srila Prabhupada can be so heavy in this modern civilization. And he says he's so puffed up, so proud that he claims to be God. What to speak of other things? No, the first thing is that one should be very humble. Srila Prabhupada gives this as a purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita 17.31. And Srila Prabhupada goes on to say that, this is the process of Vedic civilization. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini. This is the first class quality that, if you have to acquire knowledge, you should surrender. Education does not mean unnecessarily to become proud of it. You should become humble. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard from Chandrasekhar Acharya, and well, he was in Varanasi, that there are so many criticisms that are against you, that this young sannyasi, he's whimsical and all of that. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much against associating with Mayavadis. So Chandrasekhar Acharya asked him to stay in Varanasi, but he said, no, I will come back at a later time. And to deal with Mayavadis is like a milk touched by serpent, which also becomes Visha. Yeah, it becomes poisonous. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually comes back to Varanasi on the invitation of a Maharashtra Brahmana. And he says that I'm going to get about 60,000 Mayavada sannyasis coming to my house. And this was led by Prakashananda Saraswati. Shlop Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but when he comes to this sabha of 60,000 Mayavadi sannyasis, he sits in a place which is near to the people where they wash their feet. That is the humility of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very well qualified, Mayapur, Navdeep was a place of learning. Mayapur was known for, or Navdeep as a place was known for, as a seat of learning. And he's learned from there. He's been qualified, and he comes to Varanasi, and there he sits in a place where people were just washing their feet. He was very effulgent to see. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very effulgent. He was very knowledgeable. And then one of the sannyasis, Mayavadi sannyasis, realizes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting there. And when he sees his effulgence, he understands that this is not an ordinary person. And then he gets him to the stage and gives him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still very, very humble. He does not want to go there. But then this sannyasi forces him to come onto the stage and sits. He makes him sit next to Prakashananda Saraswati. And even when he sits next to Prakashananda Saraswati, he touches his feet. See the humility that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has. And it is said that, if humility is not there, all the other things are a waste. If you are not humble, it is actually a jewel. Humility is a jewel of a Vaishnava. And this is shown by the examples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here. Likewise, again, you see another example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about humility when he meets Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in Jagannath Puri. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when he comes to teach Shastras to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does not speak a single word for 7 days. And he shows his humility. Otherwise, on day 1 itself, he would have said, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what are you talking? My knowledge is bigger than your knowledge. But he was humble. He did not interfere for 7 days. He did not speak a single word. Likewise, when we see another very great Acharya in our Parampara, Sanatana Goswami, when he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first time, he actually goes with a blade of grass in his mouth and he surrenders. And he says, people are calling me Pandit. I don't know the goal of life. I'm suffering. I'm so proud of myself. Though Sanatana Goswami is the biggest of the scholars of his time, but he still bows down and says, I am suffering here. They never show pride. We people, knowledgeable, learned scholars never show pride. Take the example of Madhavendra Puri. Krishna kept a pot of kheer for him, and he tells the pujari saying that go and give it to this devotee of mine called Madhavendra Puri. And the pujari is searching for him. And Madhavendra Puri, when he knows that the Lord has done for him, he actually goes away from that place. He says, if people know that the Lord has kept the pot for me, they will start praising me, and I will be puffed up. So he just quietly in the night, he goes away from that particular place. If it was to be in the current day scenario, people will go out and put it on the social media. I got this, I got that. They honored me. They did this, they did that. And by which they become proud of themselves. So very important is that we should develop the quality of humility. And Srila Prabhupada gave a class in Hyderabad. It was quite some time back while he was in the mortal world. And he gave the examples of the 4 classes of men. And there was one person in the audience who asked Srila Prabhupada, saying that, which class do you belong to? Srila Prabhupada answered him saying that I belong to the 5th class. So we should learn from our acharyas and the senior devotees as to how we have to become humble. And when we become humble, it is very easy for us to take up to the path of bhakti. And it'll be very, in a very subtle way, Krishna will give us his bhakti when we become humble. So that is what I wanted to discuss today. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them. If there are any mistakes that I have done, please point out so that I may understand that. And if there are any corrections, please go ahead and make it. Thank you very much. Dandavats, Prabhuji.
Thanks for a wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, like as you were mentioning in the class, the Prabhupada said, I belong to fifth class. Fifth class means it's like worse than Sudra?
That was the humility that Srila Prabhupada
Okay.
showed. That is, he wanted to show that humility, that the devotee should not become proud of their being whatever is their background.
Yeah. And Prabhu, he mentioned in the class that if at all, if one doesn't serve the Vaishnava, then his lifespan will come down. I didn't understand that point, Prabhu.
So this is given in our Shastra, saying that if we are not humble, then our lifespan will come down. It's not that if we don't serve the Vaishnavas, our lifespan will come down. If we are not humble, our lifespan will come down. It's because of the puffed nature that an individual has. And when this nature of being puffed up, his lifespan will come down.
Oh, this is the first time I've heard, Prabhuji. Very nice. But it is said in Shastra, Prabhu, this one?
Yes, it is said in Shastra.
Wow. So nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for joining, Gordon Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So if there are no other questions, we will end our session for the morning today. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. I thank the temple management for giving me an opportunity to speak on the subject and purify myself. And I thank all of you for your patient hearing. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.